I don't think it's impossible. And I think it's like part of that thing I was about in approaching to in my writings, coming to that point of like what? As things that's kept away from us, things that are kept hidden, that are of the Creator, our Creator, what we think of as God, our Heavenly Father, our Allah, our Humba Huda Wadandidi. It doesn't matter what the name is. That doesn't matter at all. Because those are all directed at a situation, at a certification, and it's a withdrawal from our energy and our feelings from the true God, Creator of all of us. That connection has been cut off. That's what I'm saying. And I'm trying to get it back. Just saying. And that is like the moment that I was into, and that understanding when you were making outside of the noise of what you'd already been doing by moving the air, walking around, and that's fine, and I'm used to that. But when then other things get to be like laborious, tedious, like you have to get into something, you may be making noise. How can you distill that? You can't really. So you think of some other way, or just wait in the moment, and sit down, take a break, because you sure don't like. Like anything like negative, to come up and be pronounced and that, so that you can try to carry on. And then you think of those times and back in those moments where you can, it has to be learned. Where do you learn it from? And see, no one can give me an answer. Because I reside a lot of faith in you and your understanding. The knowledge, things that you know. Because when I ask you tell me things that are like, in depth and have good understanding, and I really cherish those moments, I've just told you something that I like about you. And it's love about you. It's you. But there's so much of that understanding, that I try to feel and touch, and just like still hidden underneath, where I thought everything was said and done and all out and over, and that past is past, and it's brought out. It's a memory thing that you get into in your thoughts sometimes, and you think about, and what you could have, I should have, I would have, and you just want to let those memories out and quit grasping onto them when they come around. You don't grasp them. You see them, you're aware, you acknowledge they're there, and don't grasp onto, and they'll dissipate, they'll go away. But sometimes they do come back yet again, and it's like testing. Come back and test, you're grasping, And no, never gave it a concern. And it fades, and it fades, and it fades. And it doesn't return. And there is like a gift. It's freedom. Sorrowful. And I'm really sorrowful. I ask to be forgiven. All these things that I've done and have felt and tasted. But it seems that some things are wrong. But it's that feeling, that mood, that understanding is not in there, then, how does one perceive those kind of words and the things that we do and we feel here, and why we get to go doing the things that we do, that we feel here. When I feel like I've said, earlier, there's a connection been taken off of humans and our understanding. And it's like a life connection to the Creator of all and that energy. I'm talking about something right now that people get killed for. In recent times, mid-times, and way past back in Roman times, people have been killed for. And that's that evil lust that wants to control all the world and the humans. And it's without God, the Creator's true existence. It's all been kept and hidden. And these are things that I think that we're all feel just and can come to that understanding of what exactly are we talking about. This gift and freedom of God and of grace. Where does it come from? And where does this place exist so I can see it and can know and come to understand it in my human understanding terms and know that this is from God, a Creator, the cause, the reason for this entire world, this universe, this sun, our solar system coming into and out beyond to the galaxies known and unknown. The Creator that caused all of this creation. DNA is inside every human being on this planet, and it deserves to be listened to. It deserves to be called to cause the joining with all human beings in our understanding and true light of goodness and godness and being kindness, reaching out this energy to everyone to touch and never let it in. So help me, God, please, Creator, make this come into being for everyone to feel forever. Not just me, everyone, every being, every animal on this earth. Dear Heavenly Creator, I ask in all thy goodness and thy name. Tom Pritchard Jr. Now I'd like to see what can become of this. I don't know if the world can really understand and perceive and feel, but we have to learn. We have to learn. It's like a string that was undone, and we need to get to discern back to the concern of that. This is justly, this is Creator. like just talking to all, and to come into one being, united in all of our thoughts around the world. And the ones that can't accept this are the evil and accursed. Those are the enemies, if there are to be any, that are so dumb and ignorant to even think they can control God's earth and His evil and their eternities that are going to be spent in there beyond millions of millions of hell in their life everlasting, because they have beseeched and distraught and descended into human things not are godly taught and should be taught to all human beings, and kindness that we have, and we live, and we love everyone, and we know of God, our Creator, is above everything that ever is, that ever was, that ever will be, and the futures, into the futures of our grandchildren's and children's and children's. And this thought is so wonderful, so glorious and golden, that it will grow in its meaning and its thoughts. And this is for everyone. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Oh, John, dear Lennon, he knew God, and he even said to let it be. And those are words like I'm thinking and have thoughts of now, or, from what a God would say to a human being, and just let it be. But now if I go out into the world, anyone, close and understanding gets it. They get it completely. But anyone outside of here will not know and understand. So when I go out with this, it diminishes, because you guys are all in to something else. That thought, that feeling, that medium, that love of kindness that is from the will of the Father in heaven, our Creator of all. It's what's coming in to us, that's being nipped away, so we won't have that light of understanding, enlightenment. That is what I'm talking about. Replay this, think it again, feel it. Feel it, what that would be, if you just let it be, these beautiful feelings, and being kind, and deserving of everyone, within everyone. It's just like, hey, how you doing? You're really close. You can touch each other. We're not worried about each other, because we're all equal. Love, hug, squeeze tight. Give it that God's hug, love hug. Then beseech it with a kiss, because it is so grand, and just let it go on to others, that it just spreads. Now that's what I'm talking about. And there, so yet to be any story told, it's like it's going to and being in life in heaven. Heaven from will, it's light from above, changing the DNA in all human beings that have listened and heard His words, and giving all is forgiven because of the sacrifice. And let that one be now mine. And I'll die in these moments for everyone, if that is your will, Father. It's like when we go to sleep. How do we go to sleep and become and stay alive? Because in sleep it's like death, but it's less of the breathing. What is that that keeps us alive? And we wake in those first waking moments. Clearly should be thoughts of the Heavenly Creator that has given this grace that's even in the air that we breathe. To that we owe all of our allegiance. And this is everyone with the same understanding, the same caring. And it's respectful of God-fearing to come to that understanding. And there's more future. That's in the future. And I told you the future, into the future, to the future. And now let's let it be in this future. And that's what I'm talking about. Wow. So please God, just zap everyone that hears this. Listen to this till they pass it on. And they pass it on. And let's just see where this goes. And let it go. And let it grow. Till we become in that one. Don't worry about me. Let me think of you. And the Lord doth come. It is breathtaking. And you just let go. And in this moment, all of forgiven is forgiven. It's a new light, a new life of understanding that comes to being undone, and we grow yet again. It's as a butterfly has come from that pupa stage and shown to light in the freedom, the heat, the motion, the life of understanding, the sight, the smell, the feeling, the taste. And let this all come to God, the creator of all. So his understanding is on all, everyone at the same time, because we're learning that's the way to be. We're learning that's how we are supposed to become. They bring death to all that want it, because that is the will of the Creator Father. And if it's a war that they want, it's a war that with these feelings filled within can never be unhanded. This gift of God's grace of freedom on this world. Wow. And if all this united and carried would turn completely around others of understanding that are against the God's creator will, and of don't kill, let it go. No life will have to be lost, because at once we all come to that understanding and we do not kill. even the ones directing the thoughts to make you to, because they had been directed from to others to who want to control and rule the world to, is not of God. That's not of the Creator of all. Wow. I maybe should look around. There may be red dots and green dots. Wow. Wow. I had a sweet life, you know? And we just gotta let this curtain down. Veil exposed. And just breathe in and let life in. And it's all gone, but it's learning. It's learning. We're still learning because of revenues cut, tax. There is no such thing. God did not create all in His creation to be or forever taxed. That's to an excess of a name, of a creation's kind of control and tax that should be now diminished. All Federal Reserves come to unfold and divvy out the trillions of billions onto the world and let life of understanding come. Just like that phone cell. Wow, that wasn't mine, but somebody's getting a call. Like that sound goes off and gets our attention, like God, the Creator, the strings that we come to understand, to know. It's the will of the Father that we're understanding and we're learning and we're learning. Yet in the future, letting this to grow. Wow. My. What's good is the planes today. I've been silent for a few, and so have they. I just heard one on the off distance faintly. So their flight paths have changed yet again. But I know now why, because of the stormy season. Back in 2015, San Francisco. Wow. Well, I'm going to get some drink and I don't know why, you know. What in the Lord's will do you want me to do, Father? I'll ask and I'll pray. And I won't create. It is in your will. And that's to come to know. Wow. Oh. Yeah, forgive me if I'm going to be still. zeroing in and feeling things, when you haven't yet touched, and you feel the senses of other things that are still, that learning goes on to God, the Heavenly Creator. So we learn more, so we learn to come to know more. It's never ending. At least until everyone is within touch with these kind of feelings. And it's all at once, all over the world. All at once, all over the world. It's all at once, covering the entire world. For all beings. What a lovelier, gentle place. The ones with the power thereof into this controlling, they must repent, even as well, that they will dwell as fallen knights in hell, till maybe a flash cometh over their entire beings that lights them up in the Christ Spirit of eternal love. And that's never been in the hell that has been brought to earth, deceiving, and will be leaving. Imagine that line from God, the will of the Father, the Creator, the love, the grace of us all that resides inside every human being. That line of that will of the Father, that connection coming to every human being, touching us. That's been cut and taken and marred and mirrored and blinded from us. And we touch that. And we touch that. And we touch it again. Because there's a feeling. It's like when you're being with someone and you're touching and you hold them in your arms. You squeeze. That life you feel. There's a life you feel. And it's one. So many are void of that. But when you come to that, wow, that's what this feeling is from the Heavenly Father, the Creator of all of humans, everything. That's what we need to learn, we need to have, we need to touch, we need to hold on to those thoughts. And the thoughts come into being, into your thoughts, to growing, to being, to becoming this kind of human. And yet we're still learning, we're growing to become in those moments of the future, of our futures, to our children, children's, and children's, going in that direction. Can you just try to imagine that kind of a place on earth right now? No, we can't, because of the governments and their demise, their controlling. Yeah, to turn everyone against everyone. The governments, not the people, are our enemies. Now figure out which one you want to be on. All that I've been speaking to and through and from the Creator of all, everything there is. I wouldn't give life all to thee, and I could just contain this all. within myself. But it self touches self and comes to know to understanding. This is far too be it from me, and I free it. Because it is kindness and it is understanding. That's all I've been talking about. And that's into the futures and the futures and the futures. God, dear God, let this go on and let it be shared, and let's just see what happens. I don't even know how to end this, but oh, man. May the Creator's will be done as it is in His will, as well as in my equally to that understanding that I can know and come to know, given to the thoughts of that spirit in that time of creation, that feeling and emotion that gave all to life. And there was never a tax. There was never a tax. And to this we all owe unto our very lives. Now that's what I'm talking about. Jeez, Lord, take me on. Let's go on further. But this journey, unless you know, I'm by myself. I'm alone on this journey that I've just told. And yet it goes on, and I keep learning and learning to learn of the Father, or Creator. And this will has been taken from us. I want it to grow. And so do will it. Imagine what all life would come to be then. Just putting aside everything that we do, that we come to be are, and just become quiet in that moment. Wow, maybe I should read that thing I did this week. Or if it may fit into this, that would be cool. Oh, wow. Yes, it is. Oh. Didn't that one say that in a song once too? Paul? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's true. Guide oneself onto the still places, yet untouched by the tourist drive. Set your smart selves aside to proceed without distractions that are well placed and keeping one busy ruling minds. Quietly at your pace, only sound is softly placed. Footsteps as they crunch along the feel of Mother Earth's kin of skin. When one's breath can be heard, that is too loud. Slowly bring to calming breath that can be felt in one's chest, but not now to be heard. yes, lower than a whispering, softer than the air from a bird's wingtips, as it sets the motion to fly up and to free itself from the grip that we all feel through beneath our feet. Now be still and listen. Listen without any thought in mind. No, you really can't, as no one, including I. But that improves and gets better with every trying day. So now be still and listen. Listen without any thought in mind. This is what we come to face and find inside everyone. Now, please do come venture inside, becoming one with the sun. Remove one's footwear, now as bare as the crust of our weight presses against, so only skin to kin can be felt. Only now the damage from the controlling world can be felt. Listen, forgive, cry, it's okay. Let tears flow, being sad or joy, as its history becomes, letting to undone. Forces coming without, feeling life within. Now, in these still small places, enter the dreaded, the commercials inside of TVs come pouring quickly out from hidden resources never felt until now. There they are, the channel of, the product of, the drink of, and we slowly reject and let these things leave us alone until in these quiet moments they become less and less, and we have to learn and pull from that string and learn to grow of the Lord. None of this is even on here. It's that moment I am very grateful for. Oh God. Many things are written, I've written, and try to think of your love, and thoughts of your love to giving out to everyone. Wow. Oh, God. Wow. Wow. You know, if I'm going to live. Oh, God. Even my hearing's going numb. I have my hearing aids in. It's not even important. Wow. It's like a level of understanding that pushes down all that you know to come into one place of feeling of God, like of oneness of His creation, and letting all this expanse burst and go, wow, 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 into everyone. Wow,
And when you start feeling and going from that understanding, dear God, in the future there is more. I need a drink of water from this understanding. Being compressed, and it'll go on again and again and again. Future, and then future, and then future. Wow. Excuse me. Wow. Breathing is more important to ground understanding than even drinking. You know, to wet that whistle. Wow. I would like to finish this reading. Wow. This is what we come to face and find inside everyone. Now please do come venture inside, becoming one with the sun. Remove one's footwear, now as bare as the crust our weight presses against. Only now the damage from the controlling world can be felt. Listen, forgive, cry, it's okay. Let tears flow, being sad or joy, as its history comes, letting to undone. Forces coming without, feeling life within. Now dreaded the commercials inside of TVs come pouring quickly as they used to out from hidden resources never but now known and felt. Just chuckle aloud, let them go. Yes, they have made dents into our mind soul, but these minds can and are to become sharper than flint. Cutting away, silently still, let peace come, that is within his will. But things not said when that moment came upon, yet left undone, just them sitting in their created notch of your past moments faced with whatever. One must come to understand these last moments in time, past and all, cannot be changed, already been done. Forgive them, forget them, understanding if in one's will. Past is now coming as flashing moments do come and go. Let them still themselves without another of your emotions, recharging them to bring again things that are past now, are gone in that flash, and past can't be undone. Only forgiveness breaks us free. Thank you, Lord. Thank you in harmony, and begin to let us fly. Let go waste of our limited time to spend on this should have, could have been, already happened. Let them go, bringing peace to all within, building within to letting out, lighting smiles of joyous smiles, miles and miles of joyous, catching everyone's smile. Peace out to us all. Yeah. That writing from this moment, that was... Well, I see what you meant now. And what you felt now. Wow. And you just feel this, you know, and that is so cool. And that's another one of those things, like I said earlier times, that another thing that I like about you, and I sense about you, but I never say it about you because, you know, maybe I'm being hoggish, I don't know, but it's just a feeling, and a tensity I feel inside, and I have to be careful with it because I just have to be careful with it. Because I don't want it to overrule, you know, your life and your feelings and your meanings, you know. I don't want to control that ever because, you know, you have gifts of this giving in life and it's good. Sorry if I get jealous therein sometimes because just past lives I've lived have brought jealousy into because there was and were things being unfolded and undone, and I sensed them all. And I didn't even care. You know? Because I learned through the work and construction, and as a friend had gently said to me once, you know, we learn to cut our emotions off from that feeling, that love, that life that we all feel towards one another when we come to understand one another, and we touch ourselves, we touch our feelings, we touch everyone, and that's just how we are, and that's all how I've always felt to be. In every town that I've ever lived in was a joy to me. And I wanted to let myself in life and grow, but there was all dissension and attention around to other things that led to other things when they weren't thinking and feeling of like how I was. And so I let them lead me to be, and that's, boy, that was wrong. That wasn't part of my intention. Just misleading wrongs to be wrong. They can never be right. And that's love, and I feel. And we have to close it up. Not to touch. Have to shut it off. Because when you've made such a connection and feeling, you know, through the right or wrongs, there's always been some good rights in there, good touch of feelings, and you don't want to let those go, because of the ones true meant inside and felt. That'll make you cry. It'll break your heart when you have to leave and let it be undone. And you come and realize yourself again, hampered from within, and not letting to be grown and grow outside. It just wasn't time. It just wasn't time. And that time could never be, as I could see and understand until now, to let it be golden. To let it out in that feeling, because that's the end. It's not holding on to your wish and letting it go. You hold on to your wish. Because if a better will come to be then, I let off this wish to be. Wow. And it just goes on. And the learning, and the growth, and the strings there were little tiny threads of strand become woven, and sinew, whatever they use, and grow and strengthen as it comes into side. And the will, and the soul, and the DNA of the Creator of all, everyone. You see, it's the learning, the growth. New curtains and love just goes on and on. And I've lived all this, just sitting here now. I've lived all this, sitting here now. Jesus, like I would be like that old guy on whatever that show was. You got the walker thing.